All right, welcome back. Now, we're being joined on the program by Dr. Ladan Salihu, a PDP chieftain and the spokesperson of the Leagues of Northern Democrats. He joins us from Abuja to continue the conversation on the PDP coalition talks. Dr. Salihu, thank you very much for your time. You heard the position of the PDP governors, of course, in direct contrast to that of the Atiku Abubakar-led coalition. What's your take on it? I mean, the PDP governors making it very clear that they are not going to join that coalition at all, that people are free to join the party, but in terms of coalition, they're not going to do that.
Well, first of all, let me appreciate you, DEJI, for doing an excellent job, 360. Now, in the PDP, like in any other political party, but the PDP especially, being the largest political party in Africa and a party that has pedigree, a party that has, rules and regulations, and a party that has ethics and ethos. We have a history. We have a history of a party that is based on the norms and values of democracy. We have a constitution. There is nowhere in the constitution of our party that you have, the Governors Forum as an integral part of the structure of leadership of the party. The Governors Forum is just like any other forum in the party. They are free to express their views and to pontificate their own ideas and to canvass whatever they think is for the good of the party. But in this case, we have a misstep. The guiding philosophy of the PDP, as far as party administration is concerned, rests squarely on the National Executive Committee, which is the neck of the party. And I have been privileged, DEJI, to cover the PDP from inception, from either G34 to G39, with then late Solomon La and Chief Alex Ekweme. And I was at the very first convention in Jos that produced President Olusegun Obasanjo and Atiku Abubakar as the presidential and vice presidential candidates. And I have been up close and personal with the PDP, either as a reporter or as a delegate or as a member of the planning committee of conventions, at least I can remember in the last 3 to 5 conventions. Nowhere in the history of our party did we have the Forum of Governors seemingly coming with, with a structure that ab initio looks like overpowering the neck or even ultimately replacing it. I want to believe, with the best of intentions, the Governors Forum came up with a document that ought to have been submitted as a proposal to the National Executive Council, and then it will be for the National Executive Council to discuss, to agree, to accept, to correct or amend, or to discard it completely. To come out with a a document that literally rewrites, the constitution of the party, I think is improper. I think the Governors Forum, is made of respected and respectable leaders of our party. I was a chief of staff to one of them, His Excellency Governor Bala Mohammed, but I want to believe that we are all stakeholders in the party.
But let me ask you this, Doctor. Let me sorry to interject, but let me ask you this. If the governors cannot speak for the party, should Atiku also be speaking for the party? I'm talking about the former vice president, because he's been leading this coalition talk. We've not heard anything anyway from the national executive council of the party. So, but then you have the former vice president leading the coalition talk and, you know, seemingly taking the party along that path without, you know, without a word from the National Executive Council.
Well, let's look at it this way, DEJI. From, you know, a few months leading to the presidential elections, to the time the presidential elections were held, and to this moment that we're having this conversation with you, if you are to ask a rhetorical question, who is the de facto leader of the party, assuming Atiku Abubakar had won the presidential election? And the answer will be Atiku Abubakar. Now, in practical terms, in empirical political terms, I want to believe Atiku is still the leader of our party. He has that preeminent position, not because it was quoted on the stock exchange of politics, but as a person who flew our flag during the presidential election. I think he has a leverage to, you know, make contacts. These contacts are just basically contacts. They are not necessarily done roughshod to willy-nilly overpower the party. It's just an option on the table. But Atiku did not go to say, okay, we are producing, you know, a blueprint for the convention. We are constituting a committee, his own coalition, or, you know, the movement he's trying to lead. He did not say we have set a date for the convention. These are the rules of engagement that are supposed to be, you know, domiciled in the powers of the National Executive Committee. And what we are saying is that, look, there is nothing wrong with the Governors Forum coming up with an option, but it should be seen to be just an option, just like what Atiku is doing. And let's look at it this way, and let us look at it in a deeper sense of it. Now, you have a Governors Forum that comes out to say, okay, we are doing a national convention. Amongst our ranks, we have produced the chairman of the convention committee, the chairman of, you know, other committees that are relevant to the convention, to even suggest that some, you know, gentleman is to be the acting national secretary.
Yeah.
What I am saying is that go back to the Constitution, look at the rules, look at the regulations, look at the traditions. These are things that are domiciled with and are the responsibilities of the National Executive Committee. So when these documents, the document that the Governors Forum produced should have been submitted to the National Executive Committee, and the National Executive Committee will look at it, look at the options of, you know, Atiku Abubakar, put them together, bring out a thin synthesis, and then, you know, we'll all be on board. To me, if you are coming up with something that is as fundamentally structural, that affects the lifespan of a party such as the PDP, you must bear in mind, DEJI, that we have leaders beyond the Governors Forum. We have in the South, for instance, you know, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. We have, you know, the likes of Rufus Adad George. We have the likes of Peter Odili. We have the likes of Bode George in Lagos. And in the North, you have the likes of, you know, the former Vice President Namadi Sambo, you know, Governor Makarifi, Sule Lamido, Governor Jonah Jang, and many others. And look, we have 12 governors that have come up with this document. We've never seen such a document, even in times of crisis in the past.
But we can't deny, I understand your point about the governors.
To come up and say that we are now doing the activity or the action of the National Executive Committee, DEJI.
But can we deny the fact that these governors are very powerful in the scheme of things in the party? Because it's always been like that anyway.
Well, being powerful is one thing. Being impactful is another. You know, let me be sincere with you in this regard. I have a firm belief, and I say this with every sense of respect, humility, and sincerity. And I defer to our governors because they are also our leaders. But to assume that they alone can pull the party together and give it direction beyond the rest of the members of the National Executive Committee and reputable statesmen and elders of the party that are outside their ranks. This will simply not fly. It will end up, if we were to take this as the roadmap, I can assure you it will only lead to further disagreements and squabbles between and among party members. And what we want in the PDP is a party that is cohesive, coherent, and together, so that we will marshal out a plan going to contest the 2027 presidential election and win. And win for the benefit of Nigerians.
Sorry, Dr. Salihu. Do you think?
I want to believe, DEJI, that the two sides are on the same platform but speaking differently. The two sides want to see PDP succeed. It is just the modus operandi of that success that we are talking about, and we'll get to the bridge. We'll cross it.
Okay, let me. I'm happy you. I'm happy you raised that point. Could the problem be that yes, it's true that the two sides actually want to see the PDP succeed, but the issue is that who should lead the PDP? Who, for instance, should get the PDP presidential ticket in 2027? Because you look among the governors. I mean, some of them have actually indicated interest to run. And you have a former vice president who has also shown all the interest that he plans to run as well. Could that be the problem here, and that the governors are choosing not to align with the former vice president because they just don't want him to get the ticket? They don't want him to be the face of the party, to represent the party as their presidential candidate in 2027.
That will be, if this were to be true, then how do I characterize it? It will be like, have you ever seen turkeys calling for early Christmas? You know, it will be dead on arrival. Look, in the congregation of the Governors Forum, and I'm not putting anybody down. These are issues that you and me and others, and the general audience watching this program know. We have had a governor within the Governors Forum that came out clearly, campaigned against, and worked for the failure of the party at the presidential level by refusing to endorse Atiku Abubakar. And lo and behold, that same governor is given responsibility in this upcoming convention. Look, we may decide to pander to political correctness. We may decide to, take spins and give it a definition. But what we all must do is to subject ourselves to the majesty of the democratic process, the rules and regulations as enshrined in the party constitution. You cannot be a player and a judge and, in your own trial. There has to be, like I said, the National Executive Committee has to take charge of the conventions, have to put the two sides together around the table and come up with an agreeable formula that will be all-inclusive, that will take care of the fears and worries of the Governors Forum, and take care and accommodate the aspirations and the inspiration of Atiku Abubakar. No one part can pull away and dictate to the party. And I want to assure you that I don't think Atiku Abubakar is interested in, joining issues with the Governors Forum. What we are interested in as party stalwarts or chieftains is to see that the PDP, becomes cohesive, stronger, and, a party that operates within the rules and regulations of non-democratic principles and practices worldwide. And if we must do that, then we must be seen to extend the hands of fellowship, the hands of understanding, the spirit of, live and let live, and let everybody be a participant, and let no one be seen to be calling the shots, because that will be anti-democratic and that will be unacceptable.
One last question, Dr. Salihu. Do you think that the former vice president can, go on this coalition thing alone without the governors?
No, the governors are very, very integral to the success of the party. We will not wish that away. They are very central, they are very strategic, and they are partners in the project PDP 2027 for the overall success of the party. But I repeat, the governors can only do that as, members of a forum, not as an organ of the party. They can only operate within the ambit and direction and control of the National Executive Committee. To assume that the governors alone can lead PDP to victory in 2027, it's hysterical nonsense. It won't work. We have to come together to, understand and appreciate each other, to understand and appreciate our own weaknesses sometimes as the sources of our own strengths, and then to respectfully agree with each other to forge a new frontier that will see PDP to victory in 2027. No one can do it alone, certainly not the Governors Forum.
I think we just have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Dr. Ladan Salihu, for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts on this very knotty issue. Let's just hope your party is able to resolve all of this and, you get prepared for 2027.
Kind words from you, DEJI. I appreciate it. Hope to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor. All right, we'll take a short break now and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go away.
Opinions are free. Facts are sacred. But truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On DEJI 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
DEJI 360, dissecting the issues.